All right. Would you please let the audience know who is Dr. Jerry Bobo?
Well, you ask such excellent questions. I'm Dr. Jerry Bobo. I'm a published author. I currently have a top-selling book, Tired of Leftovers, No More Settling for Second or Third Place in Life. I've been quoted as being a successful real estate investor, multi-level marketer, network marketer, just being in the people industry. But more importantly, I'm just an ordinary guy that chose to do some extraordinary things. I'm married, I have beautiful children, a beautiful wife, beautiful life, and I've set out on a mission to help as many people as earthly possible do the same thing.
All right. What started you on your path to wealth?
Honestly, I grew up in the church, and this book right here has always been the staple, the cornerstone, pretty much of my existence. But I found that most of the people that I was around, even as a little kid, didn't have a lot of money. And when we would go to church pretty much every Sunday, every Wednesday, and I can remember spending summers in Mississippi, and that was real church, what we call real church. I mean, real to the point where I got baptized in a pond type of real. And I noticed, though, that no matter what state I was in, the church people had one thing in common, and that was a lack of wealth or a lack of money. Now, some members were doing a little bit better than others, but overall, nobody had any real wealth. And it didn't line up with what this book said. And I mean, seriously, I began to notice this at a very early age. And I just didn't understand how this book spoke of wealth and a loving, caring God, and me being the son of a king, and you being sons and daughters of a king, and yet most of us were broke. And I did some research on my own as I got older. And I found out a couple of myths, myths about the Bible. And one of the main myths I discovered, that Jesus was broke. I had heard that all my life, that Jesus was broke and humble, and foxes have holes and birds have nests, and the Son of God didn't have a place to lay his head. And I actually found out that particular scripture just was because he was visiting in a city that's not his own. And when I discovered that at an early age, Jesus was rich. Well, why do you say that, Dr. Bobo? Because he had 3 visitors, 3 kings, bearing 3 gifts. And one of those gifts were gold. At a baby, he received gold. So how could he be broke? And then he had 12 disciples, and these weren't bums. These weren't homeless individuals. These were tax collectors, lawyers, physicians, fishermen. And they stopped doing what they were doing to follow him. That means they had families. So if you're going to follow somebody, couldn't we rightly assume that if they told you to stop doing what you're doing, they're going to pick up the slack? So how could a broke man lead 12 individuals such as those? So that means he had not only enough money to care for himself, but to care for 12 other men and their families. And then last but certainly not least, we always talk about Judas. And anybody that has ever picked up a Bible in any shape, form, or fashion knows about old Judas. Judas that betrayed Christ with a kiss for 30 pieces of silver. But I also found out that Judas did more than that. Judas actually had a job description among the disciples. He was their treasurer. He was Judas was Jesus's treasurer. Now watch this. Audience, you know as well as I do that if you only got $3, you don't need a treasurer. Right? You don't need help counting a few dollars. When you have a treasurer, that means lots of funds are coming in, and probably from lots of different sources. And it also takes it a step further that not only was Judas the treasurer, it says he was stealing out of the bag and nobody noticed. Come on now, if you got $3 and I steal 1, don't you notice that? So Jesus had to have an awful lot of money to have a treasurer that was stealing and they not even notice it. And so as those type of revelations began to come to me, I said, wow, how could I ever be wealthy if I didn't think that I could be? How could I ever make 6 figures and 7 figures if that never crossed my mind? Because I'll be honest with you, my parents, my grandparents, no one around me ever told me in any shape, form, or fashion that I could be or would be a millionaire. I was always just taught to go to school, get good grades, and get a good job. And I did that, and that didn't work. Like it's not working for many of you. And so I wrote my own book in conjunction with this book. And we've been able to help thousands of people across the globe. And that, my friend, set me on my journey to wealth.
As a person visiting your website today, how can I begin my journey and where do I start?
Let me congratulate you if you're at my website. Because that means that you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're on a quest. And God, the universe, a higher power, whatever you want to refer to it as, led you to this site right now. You wouldn't be watching this video if it weren't meant to be. So your next step would be to simply put your information in the box on this website. Your name, your email address, and a good contact number. And myself or a helpful, friendly member of my staff is going to send you an email and or call you. And we're going to set up a private consultation geared for you. Watch this. Not a general overview. A specialized private consultation for you. Why for you? Because your situation is different than Tom's situation. And Tom's situation is different from Mary's situation. And Mary's situation is different from Tommy's situation. We have got to stop cookie cutting things and start to treat people as the individuals that they are. I welcome you to join me and thousands of others as we take this journey together on health, wealth, and prosperity. Many of you know me from being associated with a company called Fresh Start, Team Fresh Start, where they have 5 areas of concentration: faith, family, finance, fitness, and focus. And that remains to this day the pinnacle of our survival, because we keep things in that particular order. Faith. Not necessarily faith in God, because some people have been taught wrong and they're angry at God right now. But let me tell you, you're angry at the wrong person. You just got taught wrong. I need you right now to have a faith in you. A faith that you're okay just the way you are. You could be a little bit better than you currently are, but there's nothing in and of itself wrong with you. So I need you to have a faith in yourself. Family. How many of us have been hurt, wounded, let down by our family? But it's time to find some forgiveness. It's time to mend those wounds. It's time to communicate. Our finances. Come on, guys. Finances is right up there with oxygen. And whoever told you money can't buy you happiness was broke. Leave them alone. Moonwalk away from them very slowly, because they have a mental problem if they think finances are not part of the keys to success. Then fitness. Come on. America. We're the most overweight country on the planet. We're eating more and doing less. In fact, restaurants have had to go in and broaden the booths. Broaden the booths so we could fit into them. We've got to do something about our physical fitness. But Dr. Jerry Bobo also cares about your emotional fitness, your mental fitness, as well as your spiritual fitness. And last but certainly not least, focus. How many of you out there are scattered all over the map? You got more than one iron in the fire. You start a lot of things, but you finish very few. How many of you out there start strong, but finish terrible? I want to help you complete some goals, some objectives, some action plans, and milestones. I want to see you become successful one day at a time, one activity at a time, one small goal at a time. If you're ready for a change, and I know that you are, because you wouldn't be watching this video otherwise, put your information in the box, okay? And wait for a friendly, helpful member of our staff, or maybe even myself personally, to return your phone call, to send you an email, to set up your consultation. Now, normally you would end a video or a book by saying the end. I'm going to end this video for you by saying it's the beginning. Welcome to the rest of your life.